Money. It affects our everyday life. But how do we make more of it? Manage it. And make sure we make the most of our money. Welcome to Money Mindful, a podcast to teach and support you as you learn to manage your money.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Money Mindful podcast. I am your host, Megan Jean Smith. I'm a money mindset and life coach for women. I help women create the extraordinary lives they want to live on purpose by coaching them and arming them with the tools that they need to create the life that they want. Okay, let's get into this episode. Are you wondering what this is about? Because I've called it, Are You Looking After Nanna? Okay, so my parents, both my grandparents, one was called Grandma, one was called Nanna. And I have a real affection for the word Nanna. I really like it. I'm totally down with it. Unfortunately, my own mother and mother-in-law are not down with that. We really wanted to call Louie's mum Nanna, and she wouldn't have a bar of it. So she's grandma. But I'm totally into the word Nanna, and when if I'm lucky enough that my children have children and I become a grandparent, let me tell all now that I want to be a Nanna. So, okay, let's put some sense into this and let you know why I'm talking about this. Basically, one of the common issues that comes up with my clients is procrastination. They want to do something, but they procrastinate. I'm sure that you are no stranger to putting tasks off. I certainly am not. And what I want to talk to you about today is something that really helps me with procrastination. And it's also just more of a broader topic about helping yourself do what you need to do in the present moment for what you want to achieve in the future. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this. So the first concept I want to talk to you about is I think of myself a little bit like three people. So there's my past self, who's done all of the things in my past to get me to where I am now. There's my present self, who's living this current life, but my present self is taking the action to create the life for my future self. And that's what I mean by Are You Looking After Nanna? So I take action now in my life to look after my future self, who I like to think of as Nanna. Yes, this is me, totally authentic. I'm not trying to pretend I'm anything that I'm not. So how does this apply to you? How does it help with procrastination? All right. One of the things that I have struggled with, and also lots of my clients come to me with this issue, is they procrastinate. They don't do something in the moment. And often it's a variety of reasons, okay? It might be because they think the task is difficult. It might be because they're rebelling against themselves a little bit. You know, it's like, well, I don't have to do that now. I can choose to do that another time. I can do whatever I want, you know, that kind of vibe. Like, yes, you can do whatever you want. You can eat chocolate all day. You can watch Netflix all day. That's totally available to you. But the missing point in that is that when you don't do what you say you're going to do, the person that you are dishonoring is who? It's you. The person that you are being disrespectful to by not following through on what you want to do is you. What? Isn't that crazy when you think about it like that? Because there's so many things that we do to ourselves that we would never do to someone else, right? We would never force a kid or somebody to eat junk food, or we would never just not show up to a work meeting, right? Like just blow it off and go and eat potato chips and watch Netflix, as if we would do that. If we had an appointment with someone, we would meet that appointment because we respect the other person, right? But so often we blow ourselves off, and what we want to do, we just don't do it. We procrastinate. We do other things instead. And the person who bears the consequence of that is also ourselves, right? Like with procrastinating things, it's, you might have a work deadline, for instance, and you just put it off, you put it off until the night before, and then you kind of stressed getting it done, and you might not have done your best work. But what if you had done it at the start of the week and you just had it complete, and then you had plenty of time to go over it and adjust it if you want? Who benefits from that? You benefit from that. Now, how that works in the greater scheme of your life is you can use this. I mean, I use this as a huge motivator for the things that I do in present time that don't feel good. Okay, just a little side note here. One of the reasons why so many people aren't good with money in terms of, investing and buying property or creating passive incomes, because it's boring and it doesn't feel good. That is why. That is the only reason why. And most people don't even realize that. Because going and spending your money on a new car, or going and spending your money on a new outfit or something like that, is far more exciting and feels so much better than putting your money in the bank and saving it to not use again until you're 65 or something like that, right? It's instant gratification and it feels good. How does this relate to Nanna? Well, when you are always in instant gratification and meeting the needs of your instant desires and urges right now, you are doing it at the expense of Nanna, your future self. And that can look like so many different things. So I've discovered recently, and it's taken me a long time to really kind of be honest with myself, is when I eat processed carbs, like lots of pasta and bread and stuff like that, I get a hangover the next day from it. I actually wake up, my body feels a bit achy, and I feel like I've been drinking the night before. And I don't even really drink. I rarely drink, okay? But I feel like I've got a hangover the next day maybe not just from eating one little processed carb. Like if I had toast or something one day, the next day I wouldn't feel like that. But it's kind of like a gradual thing. Like I find if I start eating a lot of processed carbs, I feel terrible. And it's something that I'm working on currently, that I'm literally using this same process with to change my behavior, because there's nothing in my mind, there's nothing wrong with having toast or having pasta. Like I don't see that as a problem, but I'm noticing now the negative effect that's having on my life. Like the next day I feel terrible and my energy levels drop, and I feel a bit irritable, and I don't enjoy the effect the next day. So the present person that I am today I have choice over what I do to affect who I am tomorrow. right? I just want that to sink in for a minute. So what I do today, the choices and the actions that I take today creates my tomorrow. And why this is so awesome to know and to apply is that you can use this as something to motivate you to really create a deep, deep trust and connection with yourself, that you will follow through and that you will do the things that you say that you are going to do because you're actually looking after your future self. And I've been amazed at how effective this is when I am embracing that. Okay, like I don't walk around every second of the day thinking, oh, is this decision or action creating a better tomorrow for me? I mean, it's not a natural place that I go to, but when I do it deliberately, it is so helpful for me to make decisions and to do things that affect my future. So I'm going to take you through a little process that you can do to really help you with this. And to get into it, to get into the vibe of this, one way that is really helpful to start, like step one, is to write a letter, if you will, to your past self. I think this is a beautiful thing to do, like thanking your past self for doing the things in the past that got you to where you are today. So I'm going to give you some examples of that. So I am so grateful for my past self for going and studying and being a teacher. Like putting that hard work in, like having the courage to change careers and go back to university and study and start a new career and become a teacher. I'm so grateful for my past self for doing that. I'm also really grateful for my past self taking care of my body, exercising, and doing things that I benefit from today. My health, my skin, my physical health. I'm in good health because my past self looked after me. You know, she did things like went walking regularly. And, you know, my past self did yoga every day for a year. There's lots of things that my past self did for me that really benefited my life now. I'm so grateful that my past self had the courage again to change careers again, like go and study to be a life coach and go through life coach certification and do all those scary moves like spending the money on the certification and doing all the work that was involved, like all the trainings and all the homework and the hours and hours and hours of coaching and written coaching and learning processes and practicing processes. I'm so grateful for my past self who did that. I'm so grateful to my past self for saving money for years and years to buy my first property. And I'm so grateful that my past self said no to lots of things so she could say yes to buying a property, because that's what me, the present self me, really wanted. And I'm so grateful for that. Do you get the idea? And so from that space, like that puts you in a good space to connect with this exercise, to then start thinking about, what do you want to do now? What can your present self do today to create a better tomorrow for your future self, or a better tomorrow for Nanna? I just recently had a really cool experience with the bank. We're coming to the end of an interest-free period, and it would be so easy for me to just revert to the standard variable interest rate and not worry about it or deal with it. But I don't want to do that. I want the best interest rate and conditions possible to create a better result for my future self. So I got on the phone to my broker and asked them to go into battle for me, for the bank, to get me the best rate. They got me an amazing rate that was lower than what the bank was offering. And then just by chance, get this is such a cool story. It was a public holiday, and so instead of talking to my broker, I rang the bank because I just wanted to get some information about what the repayment was going to be. And then the guy was like, oh, you can just do this over the phone. I was like, yeah, but I use a regular broker. I'll go through my broker. And then it just occurred to me, I was like, well, if you can get me a better interest rate, like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And he said, well, leave it with me. I'll call you back in the morning. And the next day he called me and he gave me an even better interest rate than my broker could get me. She was thrilled. It was so great. But doing that work, like going on the phone, talking to banks and talking to brokers, is not exciting stuff, I've got to say, for me. But the results that it creates for my future self is so fantastic, right? And this is what motivates me to do the boring stuff. This is why I get on and learn about stuff to do with superannuation, or do things today that might feel boring or that I don't want to do, because I'm looking after my future self. And one thing you can do to tap into this is ask yourself questions like, what does Nanna want? Like, what does your future self want? Does she want a healthy body? Does she want a home to live in rent-free? Like, does she want to own a home outright? So picture your 85-year-old self. Does she want to be living in a home that is fully paid for? Does she want to be relying on the government pension, or does she want to be fully financially independent and set up? Right? Ask yourself those questions and then answer those questions. And then based on your answers, take action today to create that for your future self. And that is one of the best ways I know how to shift out of procrastination. Like, even if it's something as simple as putting the doona in the washing machine. Like, you could put the doona in the washing machine tomorrow. Not a problem. Like, it's such an easy thing to do. And they're the kind of things that we put off, like cleaning the kitchen or doing the dishes, right, at nighttime. But just ask yourself at night, will my future self tomorrow be grateful and thankful that I did the dishes tonight? And when I wake up tomorrow, it's going to be a beautiful, clean kitchen, and I don't have to do that at 6 a.m. in the morning when I'm half asleep, right? Like, it's a really cool way to reframe what you're doing in the present moment. So, will my future self be totally loving on me now because I regularly saved money and put money aside for myself? Now, I didn't buy certain things because I put money into investments instead. Is my future self going to be thanking me for that? Heck yes. She is definitely going to be thanking me for that. And that is a huge motivator for me to do the things now that perhaps don't feel so good, because I'm looking after Nanna. Are you looking after Nanna? If you're not a problem. You can totally start doing that from today. A really beautiful way to reframe what you are doing and thinking about your life beyond today, like thinking about your life into the future. And when I do this also, it helps me not feel like I'm missing out on anything right now, because I'm still getting the benefit of it. It's still for me, but it's for my future me. It's for my 85-year-old Nanna me, who, by the way, is going to be a total badass. All right. If anything that I have said on the podcast today resonates with you and you would like to take any of this work further, I would like to invite you to jump on a consult call with me. What is that? That is an hour of time that you get to spend on yourself. I take you through a little bit of a process. We look at exactly where you are in your life right now. You get to tell me about all the things that you are struggling with, what you want to change. Then you can let me know exactly what you would like to create in your life. Like ideally, what is it that you actually want? What do you want your life to look like? How do you want to feel in your life? What goals do you want to reach? And then I bridge that gap for you. I give you an actual plan of how to do that. And I do that on the call. It is an amazing way to spend an hour, whether you work with me or not. It's a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself. So to do that, it's really easy. You just go to my website, moneymindful.com.au. There's a work with me tab and you can schedule a consult with me there. I know some of you are listening from overseas, and I've had people contact me asking me, do you coach women in blah, blah, blah country? Yes, I do, as long as our schedules align. If there's no time on the scheduler when you go to book a consult with me that works for you because you're in a different time zone, feel free to shoot me an email, Megan, MEAGHAN, @moneymindful.com.au, and let me know that you want to book a consult, and then I can see what I can do for you and see if we can make a time that works. Okay, until you hear from me next week, have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For more info, visit moneymindful.com.au. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. And remember, the information in this podcast is of a general nature only and does not take into account your personal circumstances or goals. Please seek professional advice for your own financial needs. Remember to have fun along the way.